At the edge of our solar system, where sunlight fades to near darkness and temperatures hover just above absolute zero, something impossible is happening. In the vast expanse of the Oort Cloud, a sphere of icy objects stretching nearly a light year from the Sun, astronomers have identified 127 objects that are breaking the laws of orbital mechanics. These objects are accelerating when they should be coasting, moving in formation when they should be randomly scattered, and most disturbing of all, they're converging. Every single one of these distant bodies is adjusting its trajectory, making course corrections that natural objects cannot perform, all heading toward a single point in empty space, a point they will reach in January 2031. The discovery came from routine observations, sky surveys designed to identify potentially hazardous asteroids accidentally captured something far more significant. At first, astronomers dismissed the data as instrument error. Orbital calculations were rechecked, measurements were verified, but the conclusion remained inescapable. 127 objects at the edge of the solar system are under intelligent control, and they're gathering for something. If you're ready to discover what's waiting for us at the edge of the solar system, stay with me. Because what these objects reveal about humanity's place in the cosmos will change everything you thought you knew about who or what shares our celestial neighborhood. The Catalina Sky Survey operates telescopes in the mountains of Arizona, scanning the heavens for near-Earth asteroids that might pose collision threats to our planet. In March 2019, during routine observations, the automated detection algorithms flagged something unusual in images of the outer solar system. An object designated 2019 CT-127 showed movement inconsistent with a natural Oort Cloud body. Its velocity was increasing without any gravitational source to explain the acceleration. Dr. Robert Malhotra, a planetary scientist at the University of Arizona, was asked to review the anomaly. Initial observations suggested we'd made a measurement error, Dr. Malhotra explained. Objects in the Oort Cloud move very slowly. Their orbital velocities are measured in meters per second. But this object was accelerating at approximately 0.3 meters per second squared. That's subtle, but over months of observation, it became undeniable. Natural acceleration of an Oort Cloud object requires a gravitational interaction, a close pass with another massive body or perturbation from a passing star. But analysis of 2019 CT-127 surroundings revealed no such objects. The acceleration appeared spontaneous, driven by forces internal to the object itself. The discovery of one anomalous object would have been remarkable but potentially explainable. Perhaps unusual outgassing as ices sublimated, creating a rocket effect similar to comets. But when astronomers began searching archival data and conducting follow-up observations, they found more, many more. By December 2020, 43 objects had been identified with similar characteristics. By June 2022, the count reached 89. As of October 2025, 127 objects have been confirmed showing anomalous acceleration patterns. And every single one is moving toward the same region of space. Dr. Sarah Chin, an orbital dynamicist at Caltech who has studied the objects extensively, described their behavior in stark terms. These aren't following natural orbits. Natural bodies in the Oort Cloud have random inclinations and eccentricities. Their paths are chaotic, shaped by millions of years of gravitational perturbations. But these 127 objects show coordinated trajectories. They're making course corrections. Orbital mechanics is one of the most precisely understood branches of physics. Give astronomers an object's position, velocity, and the gravitational forces acting on it, and they can predict its future location with extraordinary accuracy. The mathematics has been refined over centuries, verified by countless observations, and proven by every spacecraft humanity has sent into space. The 127 objects violate these well-established principles in ways that shouldn't be possible. Dr. Marcus Webb, a mathematician specializing in celestial mechanics, was brought in to analyze the orbital data. His calculations revealed patterns that defied natural explanation. When I first ran the simulations, I thought my software had a bug, Dr. Webb said. The trajectories showed characteristics of powered flight, sustained acceleration in specific directions, with course corrections occurring at regular intervals. But these are supposed to be inert chunks of ice and rock. The objects display several impossible characteristics. First, their accelerations are too consistent. Natural outgassing produces erratic thrust as different areas of an object face the sun. But these objects accelerate smoothly, as if under controlled propulsion. Second, the accelerations are coordinated. When one object makes a course correction, others follow suit within weeks, despite being separated by hundreds of millions of miles. This synchronization suggests communication or coordination according to a shared plan. Third, the energy requirements are enormous. Sustaining even modest acceleration for years requires power sources that shouldn't exist in dead Oort Cloud objects. Solar panels would be useless at that distance where sunlight is 10,000 times weaker than on Earth. Dr. Webb calculated the probability of these trajectories occurring naturally. The odds are approximately 1 in 10 raised to 3. That's a 1 followed by 43 zeros. For perspective, there have only been about 10 raised to 17 seconds since the Big Bang. These orbits are statistically impossible without external control. All 127 objects are heading toward specific coordinates. Right ascension 6 hours 45 minutes, declination plus 103 degrees 30 minutes. This places the convergence point in the constellation Gemini, approximately 0.8 light years from the Sun, still within the theoretical extent of the Oort Cloud, but far beyond a region where most comets originate. What makes this location significant? At first glance, nothing. Deep space surveys show no visible objects at those coordinates. No stars, no gas clouds, no detectable mass that might gravitationally attract these distant bodies. But the absence of visible objects doesn't mean the location is empty. Dr. Jennifer Torres, an astronomer at the Space Telescope Science Institute, conducted deep infrared surveys of the convergence region using archived data from multiple telescopes. "We found something," she said carefully. "Not an object in the conventional sense, but an absence. A region where background starlight is being blocked by something we can't directly observe. The occultation, the blocking of background light, suggests an object roughly 50 kilometers across situated exactly at the convergence coordinates. But this object emits no light, reflects no sunlight, and appears completely dark at all wavelengths observed so far. It's like a hole in space," Dr. Torres described. "We can see its effects on background stars, but the object itself is invisible. Either it's perfectly black, absorbing all radiation, or it's using some form of stealth technology we don't understand." Further observations revealed that this dark object has been at the convergence point for at least 15 years. the full extent of available archival data. It's not moving, it's waiting. The 127 objects are traveling toward this rendezvous from all directions, their trajectories forming a sphere that's contracting toward the central point. Based on their current velocities and the distances remaining, Dr. Webb calculated their arrival times. Every object will reach the convergence point within a 72-hour window centered on January 17, 2031, Dr. Webb reported. The precision is extraordinary. Objects starting from different distances and different velocities have timed their journeys to arrive simultaneously. This level of coordination requires advanced planning and continuous adjustment. What are these 127 objects? Standard Oort Cloud bodies are thought to be primordial remnants from the solar system's formation, icy planetesimals that were ejected to vast distances during the planet's migration. They should be inactive, frozen chunks of water ice, methane, and rock. But spectroscopic analysis of the anomalous objects revealed unusual properties. Dr. Elena Vasquez, a spectroscopist at the European Southern Observatory, obtained detailed spectra of 23 of the objects using the Very Large Telescope in Chile. The surface composition is anomalous, she reported. We see absorption features consistent with metallic compounds, materials that shouldn't exist on natural comet nuclei. The spectral signatures suggested the presence of titanium, aluminum, and what appears to be synthetic ceramics, materials associated with spacecraft construction rather than natural celestial bodies. It's as if we're looking at manufactured objects with ice accreted on their surfaces, Dr. Vasquez explained. The core spectral features suggest artificial composition covered by a thin layer of natural materials accumulated during millions of years in the Oort Cloud. Size estimates for the objects range from 200 meters to over 2 kilometers in diameter. Most cluster around 500 meters, roughly the size of a small asteroid. But their albedo, the amount of light they reflect, is unusually low, suggesting dark surfaces possibly designed to minimize visibility. Attempts to observe the objects with radar have produced puzzling results. Some objects produce radar returns, suggesting hollow interiors, void spaces that shouldn't exist in solid ice and rock bodies. Others show surface features too regular to be natural, flat planes, right angles, and geometric patterns. Dr. Chen conducted thermal observations using infrared telescopes. We detected heat signatures, she said. Not much. The objects are still incredibly cold, but they're a few degrees warmer than they should be based on solar heating alone. Something inside is generating power. The thermal emissions show periodic variations suggesting operational cycles, systems that turn on and off according to schedules. The periods range from 18 to 26 hours, reminiscent of day-night cycles on terrestrial planets. If the 127 objects are artificial, when were they placed in the Oort Cloud? And by whom? Dr. Malhotra investigated the objects' orbital histories, running simulations backward in time to determine where they originated. The calculations are difficult because we don't know how long they've been under power, he noted, but we can establish minimum ages based on their current positions. The analysis revealed that the objects have been in their current orbits for at least 10,000 years, possibly much longer. Some orbits show characteristics suggesting they've been in the Oort Cloud for over 100,000 years. This timeline predates human civilization. Whatever placed these objects in position did so long before humans developed agriculture, built cities, or invented writing. We're looking at archaeological artifacts, Dr. Malhotra stated, ancient technology that's been dormant in the outer solar system for millennia, and now it's activating. But who built them? The obvious answer, that they represent technology from an extraterrestrial civilization, raises as many questions as it answers. Why would an alien species place monitoring stations or automated probes in our Oort Cloud? What are they monitoring? And why are they gathering now? An alternative theory suggests the objects might be remnants of an ancient human civilization, a technologically advanced society that existed before recorded history and had the capability to launch objects to the edge of the solar system. But this theory requires accepting that all evidence of such a civilization has been erased from the geological and archaeological record. A third possibility: the objects were placed by a previous intelligent species that evolved on Earth before humans, a civilization that existed millions of years ago, when Earth's continents were arranged differently and left no traces we recognized. Dr. Torres proposed yet another scenario. What if these objects are older than the solar system itself? They could be von Neumann probes, self-replicating machines sent by an ancient civilization to explore the galaxy. They might arrive at star systems, establish observation stations in the outer regions, and wait for signs of intelligence to emerge. If this interpretation is correct, the 127 objects have been watching Earth for potentially billions of years, waiting for humanity to develop technology sophisticated enough to detect them. And the convergence in 2031 might represent a programmed response to our detection, an acknowledgement that we've reached a developmental threshold worthy of contact. Among the 127 objects, 3 stand out for maintaining a precise geometric relationship despite the vast distances separating them. Objects designated Alpha 7, Delta 23, and Omega 51 form an equilateral triangle that has remained perfectly stable for the entire duration of observations. The triangle's dimensions are staggering. Each side spans approximately 400 million kilometers, nearly 3 times the distance from Earth to the Sun. Maintaining such a formation requires the objects to coordinate their movements with precision, measured in meters, across distances measured in millions of kilometers. Dr. Webb analyzed the triangle's stability. The formation isn't just stable, it's actively maintained. When one object makes a course correction, the others adjust within 48 hours to preserve the geometric relationship. The synchronization suggests real-time communication despite signal travel times of over 20 minutes between objects. The triangle's orientation is also significant. Its plane is tilted 23.5 degrees relative to the ecliptic, exactly matching Earth's axial tilt. This alignment can't be coincidental. It's as if they're using Earth's orientation as a reference frame, Dr. Chen observed. The triangle's geometry is defined relative to Earth's axis, not the Sun's equator or the galactic plane. They're explicitly referencing our planet. Spectroscopic observations revealed another puzzle. The 3 triangle objects show identical spectral signatures despite being separated by vast distances. They appear to be constructed from identical materials using identical manufacturing processes, suggesting they're products of the same facility or production run. More intriguingly, the triangle objects show correlated thermal variations. When Alpha 7's heat signature increases, Delta 23 and Omega 51 show corresponding changes within hours, far faster than light-speed communication would allow. Either they're responding to a common external signal we can't detect, Dr. Vasquez suggested, or they're using some form of faster-than-light communication. Both possibilities have profound implications for physics. In January 2025, the objects entered a new operational phase. Their acceleration increased, their course corrections became more frequent, and they began transmitting. Radio telescopes monitoring the outer solar system detected weak signals emanating from the objects. Structured radio emissions at frequencies between 1.4 and 1.7 gigahertz. The signals were too faint for detailed analysis initially, but their existence confirmed that the objects possessed active radio systems. Dr. Torres coordinated observations using multiple radio telescopes, combining their data to enhance sensitivity. The combined observations revealed signal structures. "We're seeing pulse patterns," Dr. Torres reported, "regular sequences with precise timing. The patterns vary between objects but show mathematical relationships, ratios of prime numbers, Fibonacci sequences, geometric progressions." The radio transmissions appeared directed toward the convergence point, as if the objects were reporting to the dark object waiting there. But occasional bursts showed different directionality, aimed toward the inner solar system, toward Earth. "Some of the signals are meant for us," Dr. Torres stated. "They're transmitted at frequencies we use for deep space communication and modulated in ways that suggest intentional messaging. Whatever controls these objects wants us to know they're there." Attempts to decode the messages revealed frustrating complexity. The signals contained multiple layers of encoding, each requiring different decryption approaches. The outermost layer used simple mathematical progressions, easily interpreted as establishing baseline communication. But deeper layers remained opaque. Dr. Webb's team identified what appeared to be a countdown sequence embedded in the transmissions. "We're seeing numerical sequences that decrease with each transmission," Dr. Webb explained. "The numbers correspond to days remaining until the convergence date. It's telling us when something will happen." As of November 2025, the countdown indicates 418 days remaining, matching exactly the time until January 17th, 2031. The detection of signals from the objects created a fierce debate within the astronomical community. Should humanity respond? And if so, what should we say? Organizations like METI, Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence, argued for sending deliberate transmissions. "We've been detected," stated Dr. Douglas Fakach, president of METI. "These objects know we're here. Remaining silent gains nothing and might be interpreted as hostility or lack of intelligence. We should respond with messages demonstrating our capabilities and peaceful intentions." But others urged caution. The late Dr. Stephen Hawking famously warned against advertising humanity's presence to potential alien civilizations, noting that contact might not end well for the less advanced species. "We don't know what we're dealing with," cautioned Dr. Malhotra. "These objects have been in our solar system for thousands of years at minimum. They've watched our development. Now they're activating and gathering. We should understand their intentions before announcing ourselves." NASA's official position emphasized observation and analysis. "Our priority is gathering data and understanding the phenomenon," stated a NASA spokesperson. "Any decision about responding would require careful consideration and international consultation." But the decision was taken out of official hands. In March 2025, a private organization transmitted a response toward the convergence point. The message included basic information about Earth, our position, our chemistry, our technological level, along with mathematical proofs demonstrating understanding of the signals received. The transmission was completed before any government could intervene. Within days, several other groups sent their own messages, creating a cacophony of human voices directed at the mysterious objects. The reaction came swiftly. Within 72 hours of the first response transmission, the object's acceleration increased sharply. Their convergence timeline accelerated. The estimated arrival date shifted from March 2031 to January 2031, as if the objects were rushing to reach their destination ahead of the original schedule. "We triggered something," Dr. Chen said quietly. "Our response changed their behavior. They're moving faster now, as if they received new instructions or decided that the schedule needed to be advanced." As knowledge of the object spread through astronomical circles, researchers began examining historical records for any references to objects or events at the edge of the solar system. What they discovered added another layer of mystery to the phenomenon. Dr. Michael Stern, a historian of science at Cambridge University, found references in medieval astronomical texts to wandering stars beyond Saturn that moved in patterns different from planets or comets. These records were dismissed as observational errors, Dr. Stern explained. But some descriptions match what we're seeing. Objects that change direction without approaching the sun, stars that brighten and dim according to schedules. More intriguingly, certain ancient predictions appeared to reference the year 2031. The Mayan long count calendar, which gained notoriety around 2012, contained lesser-known calculations extending far beyond that date. One sequence pointed to a significant celestial event in what translates to early 2031 in our calendar. The Maya were sophisticated astronomers, Dr. Stern noted. They tracked Venus, predicted eclipses, and maintained records spanning centuries. If they observed phenomena in the outer solar system and calculated when those phenomena would recur, their predictions might have merit. Chinese astronomical records from the Han Dynasty contained references to guardian stars that watched over the solar realm from the edge of darkness. These stars were said to gather at intervals of approximately 12,000 years, a time frame that would place previous gatherings in humanity's prehistoric period. Dr. Vasquez discovered correlations between the convergence point's coordinates and alignments found in megalithic structures. Several stone circles in Britain and Ireland show alignments that don't match any bright stars or solar positions, she reported. But they align precisely with the region of space where these objects are converging. It's as if ancient peoples knew this location was significant. The implications are staggering. If ancient civilizations had knowledge of these objects and could predict their movements, it suggests either that the objects have been signaling Earth for millennia, or that previous human societies possessed observational capabilities we've underestimated. As the countdown continues, speculation intensifies about what will occur when the 127 objects reach the convergence point. The possibilities range from benign to catastrophic. The optimistic scenario: the gathering represents a scheduled maintenance operation. The objects, having monitored the solar system for millennia, periodically converge to exchange data, perform system updates, or receive new instructions from the dark object at the center. The activation might have nothing to do with humanity. We simply happen to be present during a routine operation. A more intriguing possibility: the convergence represents a recognition ceremony. The objects have detected that humanity has reached a technological threshold. The ability to detect and track objects in the outer solar system, and are responding with a programmed contact sequence. The gathering might herald first contact, with the dark object serving as a communication hub that will activate once all components are assembled. A concerning scenario: the objects are components of a larger system that becomes functional only when assembled. The dark object might be a control unit, and the 127 objects could be parts of a massive antenna, a weapon system, or a transportation device. Their purpose remains unknown, but the secrecy and precision suggest significance. The darkest possibility: the objects represent an automated defense system. Their convergence might indicate they've detected a threat, possibly humanity itself, having reached a technological level that triggers protective protocols. The gathering could precede an assessment or intervention designed to neutralize perceived dangers. Dr. Webb takes a pragmatic view. Whatever happens in January 2031, we'll finally have answers. The objects will reach their destination. They'll either activate some larger system, begin transmitting clearer signals, or reveal their purpose through action. Our uncertainty will end. Preparations are underway. NASA is positioning spacecraft with trajectories that will allow observation of the convergence region. The James Webb Space Telescope has reserved observation time for early 2031. Ground-based telescopes worldwide have coordinated to monitor the event continuously. This will be the most observed astronomical event in human history, Dr. Torres predicted. Every telescope capable of pointing at the convergence coordinates will be watching. Whatever happens, we'll document it with unprecedented detail. At the edge of our solar system, in the vast darkness of the Oort Cloud, 127 objects continue their impossible journey. Each course correction brings them closer to their destination. Each transmission contains information we're still struggling to decode. Each day that passes brings us closer to January 2031. These objects represent the most compelling evidence yet discovered of intelligence operating within our solar system. Intelligence that predates human civilization and possesses technology we're only beginning to detect. They've been watching, waiting, and now gathering. The convergence point awaits, marked by a dark object we cannot see except through its shadow against distant stars. What awaits us there? A message? A meeting? A revelation that will rewrite our understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos? The mathematics are clear. These objects are not following natural orbits. The evidence is undeniable. Something is controlling their movements with precision impossible for random space debris. And the countdown is unambiguous. In January 2031, we will discover what has been hiding at the edge of our solar system for thousands or perhaps millions of years. We've spent centuries believing we were alone, that our solar system was empty except for planets, asteroids, and comets. But the 127 objects tell a different story. They speak of ancient installations, of patient observation, of systems that operate on timescales that dwarf human history. Are they monitoring us, protecting us, preparing for contact, or fulfilling some purpose we cannot yet imagine. In 418 days, we'll begin to know. The objects will arrive, the dark hub will activate, and humanity will face the moment when our assumptions about solitude in the cosmos finally end. The Oort Cloud was supposed to be empty space, a graveyard of primordial ice left over from the solar system's formation. Instead, it appears to be a staging ground, a perimeter, a place where something has established a presence that spans millennia, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. That moment approaches. The objects are moving wrong because they're not supposed to be moving naturally. They're artificial, they're controlled, and they're coming together for something that might change everything we understand about the universe and our place within it. In January 2031, the waiting ends, the gathering completes, and whatever has been observing Earth from the darkness at the edge of our solar system will finally make its purpose known. The countdown continues. The objects converge, and we watch the skies, wondering what ancient intelligence left these sentinels at the boundary of our world, and what message they'll deliver when they finally come together after their long, lonely vigil in the dark.